Hi everybody, good morning. This is Jean here. I'm with Jen, my friend Jen. This is Jean's Block Party 2018. And we are at the end of making our blocks.
Can't believe it!
It's been 5 months. If you're just tuning in real quick, 5 months ago Jen came a non-quilter, and we embarked on this little project to make a sampler quilt, one block pretty much every week, a beginner's block. And Jen has finished her 20 blocks. We are doing a quilt that is 4 blocks across, 5 rows down. So we've made, in the last 5 months, 20 blocks. 20 blocks. Jen has her blocks with her. I have my blocks, but what I want to do is I want Jen to show you very quickly her progress, because this was all about Jen. And then you guys have jumped on the bandwagon and have been sending in blocks, the most beautiful blocks.
Really
They're
pretty.
Fantastic. We've said it all along, so many of you are not beginner quilters, but it's been fun. So this is about Jen, so we're just going to go quickly through her block number 1.
Block 1. This one I did a couple times.
Because it was, and I didn't realize.
Because I never did a block before.
And I'm thinking, as I started this, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I'm thinking, oh, that's an easy block. It wasn't really.
Yeah,
it wasn't really easy for a beginner. And a lot of people are like, that's the first one. So Jen, we've gone over that. Jen did that though a couple times. Block number 2.
Snowball block.
Snowball block.
Which I love now, you'll know.
Yeah, she didn't like it. She didn't like it.
I didn't
She's
like it at first.
This is so hard. And I'm thinking, no, it's really, really very easy. But not for a beginner.
Yeah.
So then
But
block.
we've done the snow block corners a couple times, and I love that.
Yes, yeah. So block number 3 came along. And if you can't do that,
this one.
yeah, if you can't do that, you just might as well not sew.
Yeah.
Sorry, this
No
is just
seams.
this is just no seams. That's block number 3.
Love it. Then I start my B, made its first appearance in block 4.
And what's that called?
This Ohio Star?
Right,
No,
and the
yeah.
cutting out the B is
fussy cutting.
Fussy cutting. So to actually isolate an image and you cut around it. Took you a couple of attempts.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
took me a couple of attempts actually too.
But love it.
But because she's highlighting this B fabric, we'll talk about that in a second.
And then I love this one, Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder, it's lovely. That's
So
an easy
pretty.
block. It has just a 4 patch and some half square triangles. But 4 patches and half square triangles, which I was thinking pretty much make up the majority of these blocks. Just, you know, very easy piecing. These are, I was looking at my books, just as an aside, I was looking at my books, and a lot of the blocks, these are pretty much the basic blocks.
Okay.
There are many really much more difficult blocks. I don't know how I could go explaining that. Because people are like, oh, do another one. And I'm like, these are like simple blocks to be able to explain.
You explain them really well though, because
But it takes me like half an hour to explain something that Jenny Dones can do in about 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. But like, you're getting it, and you know.
And she does them probably like in 5 or 10 minutes, but it takes probably me an hour.
Oh, it takes you an hour.
Well, in the beginning, an hour. I've gotten a lot quicker.
Awesome, super.
So,
yeah. Okay, so that was block. Now this is called churn dash. Sometimes it's called a monkey wrench. And again, Jen
like the churn.
fussy cut that in the middle.
Yeah. This was our awkward measurement.
What was the measurement?
It was 7/16. Wait, 8/16.
11/16.
11/16.
11/16.
I didn't even know that was a measurement.
I know, I didn't either actually when I found this pattern. And it looks complicated, and it was the measurement. So again, this week we're working on measurements. We were working every week. I tried to do a specific
mini lesson.
Yeah, like a lesson of like what you're going to learn this week. And again, we repeated ourselves quite a lot.
This was fun because we did the strips and then cut them and turned them.
Yes, that was like a subcut. Yep. And then your heart.
My heart, which I stressed over, but I like how it came out.
And you
I
didn't.
really
And you
did.
didn't.
I was
We
nervous.
said before you didn't have a blanket stitch.
Yes, yeah. So I had to use a zigzag. That's
What
how good my sewing machine
doesn't
is.
have a blanket stitch? Jen's machine.
Jen's machine
didn't have a blanket stitch. Did you guys? Do you have a blanket stitch? Like, so she used a zigzag.
Yeah.
Turned out really nice with a snowball block.
Snowball block.
And somebody actually, I had made. Thank you so much, whoever. I believe it was maybe Jane. I don't know. Suggested putting the snowball blocks on the corners. I had just made my first one with the heart. And it was pretty, but it was rather boring. And somebody said, "Oh, I did mine," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing that," you know. So that was awesome.
Fun.
Yeah, that was good. Number 9.
Jean's favorite.
My favorite
block.
10-minute block. Love this. Again, fussy cutting in there, which was brave because
Yeah, I like how it came out.
Yeah, awesome. I love the pops of
I
red
got
in your
addicted
colorways.
to fussy cutting here.
Cutting out, yeah, cutting out.
I love this. The lobster
the
claw.
lobster claws.
This is one of my favorites.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I love the bee again. That's pretty. And then, okay, all right, the dreaded block 11.
There had to be one.
We all hate block 11.
The bloody block.
Yeah.
that almost took my, got blood all over it from cutting my finger.
And I had everybody cut 1.5 inch squares. I've talked about this before. I could have described that in a strip method. You could have just cut 1.5 inch, sewn them together, and subcut them to make all of these little 4 patches. I didn't do that because actually, as I was saying before, I actually followed a pattern for this. And I'm thinking, and everybody like, oh, it's so hard.
Yeah.
And she cut her finger. So this is the horrible block 11, but it turned out okay.
And I felt better at measuring after this block.
Okay.
This was more difficult.
It was.
Then when I went back to like 2.5, I'm like, oh, this is so easy.
Exactly. Yeah, because that was, I mean, even me, I didn't get it right. I didn't get it perfect. And then I'm thinking, okay, forget it. We'll do a really easy one. The disappearing 9
I love this one.
Simple.
Yeah.
And again,
I did more fussy cutting. I got obsessed with fussy cutting.
I thought you said you only used...
I used the bee 7 times.
7 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And 20 blocks.
So the windmill.
That was the
one.
windmill with just 2
Turning.
colors, two colorways, and the background, which you have white.
This is one of my favorites.
That was my favorite block.
Was it?
I love this. I love this sort of star. I did that in
pretty.
red. I just think that's beautiful.
And I loved those snowball corners again.
Yes, and you're getting good.
I knew.
Snowball corners. And this was like the butterfly. You only did 2. Oh, you just did 2. Oh no,
Fabrics.
of course it was 2 fabrics.
Yeah,
That's right.
But this one had 2 colors in it.
That's right. Right. Yeah. So that's
just
really
2
that's a
fabrics.
nice stark, beautiful one.
Yeah,
Bold.
this
I like
pops when I lay them out. This
that. Okay,
one pops.
and you're okay with that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it.
love it,
Yeah.
love it, love it. I love that.
This
and
one.
I love this sort of. It's sort of like an Aztec. You have bees, and then this sort of not
I know.
Aztec.
I'm like, I hope it goes together.
Native American, like I love that. I think
Yeah.
that's so pretty because it's truly like a woven blanket look. I think that's so cool. I love it.
Thanks.
I love this one. This is the one, my half square triangles that I messed up on, and I showed you how to make it a little bit bigger because mine ended up small. I'm like, what happened? So, but yours ended up perfect.
Yeah, I like
So that
this
was,
one.
we learned how to do 8 half square triangles at one time, and then it's just 8 here and 8 here. 16 half square triangles. I think that's pretty. I think that would make a beautiful quilt just
all by itself.
all by itself,
Yeah.
and it would work up fairly quickly. I love that one.
You can even do it bigger, right? And just
Oh,
make a whole
absolutely,
quilt of
absolutely.
like huge ones of these.
That quilt right there, over there on my chair,
Oh,
is
yeah.
half square triangles.
Yeah, I love that.
In just different colorways, just all placed,
Differently,
Yeah,
yeah,
all
I like
differently.
that.
Yeah. Again, half square triangles, very, very basic, simple blocks. We learned half square triangles. We learned pressing to the dark side most of the time.
Setting our seams.
Setting our seams. We learned about flying geese.
Yeah.
How to make flying geese.
Couple different ways.
Yes. And like a scant 1/4 inch.
Yes, yeah.
You
I
got
can do that now.
You can, right. And you understand, like, when you're, like, with the flying geese, perhaps to not cut off that beak, the
Yes,
point.
yeah.
Just that fold, one thread,
Makes the difference.
Makes the difference to turn the fabric over. So that's a scant 1/4 inch. We learned that. This was sort of like a flag
I love this
looking
one.
thing. Yeah, with, again, fussy cut. They're
Yeah,
beautiful.
I love that
Beautiful.
one.
Very pretty. And then block 19, our flying geese.
Yes. So this went, we did a couple different ways at
Yes.
first, like laying it out, and then this is the way that.
That's the way it turned out, with the
out.
pinwheel. I love that. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like
Yeah,
that.
because I made this block 3 times. The first 2, I was saying, weren't failures. They were just, I didn't love them for my finished quilt, so we just did that.
Yeah.
So, and then our last block, which is Jen's block, because last week
I can't believe I helped pick a block.
she did.
I felt so special.
I was
like, what do you mean you can't think of a block? We have to finish.
I'm serious. Like, you folks, like, I would have ended it. It was like I was so done. I wasn't. I was actually. I was like brain dead. I was like, I don't know what to do. I kept saying that to you for like a week and a half. I saw Jen. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't have a clue. I'm a really great teacher, right? So I'm finally like, Jen, help me. So you went on Pinterest.
I went on Pinterest and I was like, I knew I had a lot of scraps left. Like, because, see, she didn't have to make her blocks as many times as me because I was really a beginner. So in the beginning, I was making them 2, maybe 3 times. So I was using a lot more fabric than she was using.
Right.
So I said to her at the end, I don't have that much fabric left. And this worked out perfect because I had it on.
Scrap heaven. And that was the thing in the very beginning. You have to excuse me if you're tuning in and you want to start this block party. I don't have a clue. And as you know, who've been following me, I don't really have a clue about measuring, math a lot. I have all this fabric, so I can pull. I had gotten a lot of fat quarters for my quilt that I was demonstrating on. I advised you guys to buy 15 fat quarters,
which is plenty if you're not doing them over and over.
Okay, so you would have.
I would have had plenty.
You would have had plenty. Okay, yeah. So there. So I was.
It was my mistakes that made me run out faster.
Okay, right. Yeah. So and then for the backing, because again 5 months ago I thought we're going to put a border on this quilt. The border would have made it. It would have made it too. It would have made it too big. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Who's that? Oh, sorry. I gotta cut it off. Oh,
Jean-Pierre!
I'm filming.
I know you are.
No,
what up, YouTubers?
Stop. Sorry about that. I will not edit that out because this is my life. This is real life. We have Jen's little baby boy. Well, he's not a baby. Parker standing right here. We're like, shh. And then my son, Jean-Pierre, comes in and ruins everything. That was Jean-Pierre. This is like one take in the can type of people. So we have that. We're pretty good fabric-wise. Oh, now the next step, there's quite a few steps to finish our quilt.
Yeah.
The next step is, I was telling Jen, you're all excited about laying everything out. You're laying everything out.
I've laid it out a million different ways.
Right.
But I don't know what to do.
Well, there's a little trick that I do is when I'm making a quilt, color-wise, these are my blocks, okay? I've made 20 blocks. You can follow them along. What I've done is we've made 20 blocks. So what you want to do is you want a light and a dark block.
Okay.
Now, we want 10 light and 10 dark. Now, you're going to say they're all light.
Okay.
Or like one is dark.
Yeah.
So why I do that is I think visually, this makes no sense, but like visually you want a light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, across your quilt. And your eye, I think, your eye will sort of see and register like a subconscious, like, oh, there's a pattern there. And what you're thinking is like, oh, a lighter block may not be. Now, what I want you to do is just like, you can do this at home, but like just kind of separate them. What you think just initially is light or dark.
I'm going to do dark and
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
And then these all look dark too.
They look dark. So this is a little exercise when you're laying out maybe a scrap quilt block. You want it to look scrappy, but you just want to take just a second or two of a little bit of forethought of your fabric, your block placement. And then, like I said, you're sort of like tricked into like, oh, that makes sense, because that's, it sort of works a little bit better. I've actually done that with my blocks. I have a pile of light blocks. I have a pile of dark blocks. They're not, again, they're not light and they're not like black and white. Some of you folks will say, well, my blocks that have been sent to me on my webpage, they have a black background. Well, what happens then? Again, you don't have to stress about this. It's however you want to place your blocks. But sometimes if you squint at a distance, you can see sort of the value of a block, and it might your brain says, oh yeah, that's actually reads a little bit darker. And then what we're going to be doing in the second part of this, we're going to be doing a second video, So I can stop this. This will be the next time. We're going to tape it right now. I'm going to show you the actual placements of how we're going to actually place our blocks and our cornerstones. I'm going to do another video with Jen in a minute, but we just want to talk about, she's going to be doing this. The next thing is to lay your blocks out, dark, light,
Okay.
and then take a picture.
Oh, so we don't forget.
So you don't forget. So you want to take a picture on your smartphone or somehow record that, because then you're going to pick up your blocks to start sewing them together. So you can refer back. I do that because,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, take a picture of it. And we're going to be talking in the next video about our sashing and our cornerstones, and you're actually going to construct the top. So that's Jen's blocks. Oh, I just got in the mail. I just wanted to tell you guys. I just got in the mail. I don't have my glasses on. When is it?
Pennsylvania.
Our Pennsylvania Quilt Show
Extravaganza
is on.
We're
going to another quilt show, folks.
September 13th through the 16th
September.
at Oaks, PA.
Right. So September, it's a ways, but it comes up quickly. So we'll be going to that one. I've been to this one. It's really super.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be
Nice.
good. So that's that quilt show. And when we were last at our quilt show, we were actually at the point we're saying, after this is done,
What
what are we going to do?
Sunday evenings.
I know. It's
What are we
like
gonna watch?
I said, it's like a Netflix series that ends.
I know. You get like a little depressed after the end.
So like the summer's coming up, and you got to. Everybody has to.
I mean, we do have
finish
to quilt it.
You have to quilt it.
Yeah.
This is the easiest part.
The quilting?
No.
Oh, I was going to
block.
say, I'm terrified to quilt it.
No. Oh, well, that's another thing. So at the quilt show.
Yeah. Yes.
This is about Jen, basically. So at the quilt show, we had seen quilts that had been quilted
Yes, on a diagonal.
on the diagonal.
Like, so if you went this way and this way, you ended up with like a diamond pattern.
Right. And how did I say you can achieve that?
With painter's tape,
Painter's tape.
which intrigued me.
Yes. So
I'm thinking that's how
she's gonna go.
maybe I
She's
should go.
gonna go to Home Depot and get painter's tape.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is awesome for if you're not free motion quilting, which Jen isn't, which most beginners aren't doing, to get straight lines from one end of a quilt.
Yeah.
It's not a big quilt, but it's still going to be, a bit.
It's still big for a beginner.
Yes,
It's not a baby quilt.
Exactly. It's not
right?
a baby quilt. So to get from one corner, you start at one corner, to go all the way down to that corner, you lay a thing of painter's tape after you've sandwiched the quilt. We'll address that. And you've pin basted it, or however you want to baste it, to get that straight line.
Yeah.
And then you can move your painter's tape, and then you start this way. And it really is an effective way. You're going through the sashing, you're going through the cornerstones, but it really is an effective way to quilt, I think, a sampler block if you don't know how to free motion quilt.
Yeah.
I know how to free motion quilt, but I'm going to do it exactly like Jen wants to do it.
You are?
I was thinking about that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you in the diagonal how to do that.
Okay.
And then one other thing before we go into the actual cornerstones I'm going to show you is we bought this at the quilt show. I haven't even opened it up.
I haven't either, actually.
We were walking along. It's nothing to do with quilting. Jen is like, oh, that is the coolest thing. So
It looks like it was quilted, though.
Yes.
Later we found out it was just the fabric.
it's just well, no, the fabric was quilted on this.
Oh, right, okay.
So what
It's slightly
is?
quilting.
Oh, what it is it's a deer head. It's a stuffed deer head.
I'm excited.
Jenny's
can't
like,
wait to hang this in
that
my
is
house."
so cool. So the deer head, the stuffed deer head, is mounted on this plaque that came in the kit, and it's
Dear John is the product, right? And the company is the Quilted Fish by Amanda Herring.
So
that's the company.
the Quilted Fish at gmail.com or www.thequiltedfishpatterns.com. So reproduction strictly prohibited. Jen bought a pattern, I bought a pattern.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't put a pattern up.
Yeah.
You'd have to buy your own pattern. But this, folks, is a little craft that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And at the quilt show, it's really cool. It's a fairly decent sized deer head. You know, they're all, it's all like trendy right now. With actual horns it had. So we can source the horns
through Etsy or eBay.
Yeah, Etsy, eBay, and sometimes you can get like resin ones if you don't want real ones. I could understand that would freak some people out. So they have like resin horns, probably maybe even a craft store nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. And it takes a yard and a half of fabric. We had to buy this. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. So the lady at the shop, soft and stable. It's like it makes the fabric. You quilt this onto this heavy stuff. And then you stuff it. And then
and buyAnnie.com is where you can get this.
Yeah. And then she had the again, she said that she put the dowels in to hold it up. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be making this thing. Maybe you can bring your sewing machine over. Yeah. And we can actually be cutting it out and seeing how we get along with this stuff. Again, it's not a quilt. But it's exciting. We're making it.
We needed something since our Netflix specials.
I know. So if any of you have, some people are like, do another block party.
Yeah. Like advanced box?
Advanced box, but see, that means applique, paper piecing. Right. And that's putting it on the website.
She'll think of something.
I'll think of something. And then somebody said, how about table runners? But how many table runners could you make?
Yeah. How many would I use?
How many would you use, exactly? Yeah. So I don't have a clue. I don't know. And then maybe I thought, well, I'll just go back to like showing people how to do a 1/4 inch seam. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
She'll think of something. I'll think of something though. So what we're going to do now is Jen's going to put her blocks, she's going to go home, put her blocks, light, dark, put them in order, make a, take a photograph of it so you have it figured out once and for all. Yeah. And then
commit. I need to commit.
She needs absolutely to commit. I've done my blocks, and now I'm going to cut this off. We're going to do another video that I'm going to put up in maybe a few days of actually how we're going to construct the sashing and the cornerstones. What you need to cut to put our quilt top together.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thanks for following.
It's been wonderful. The blocks that have been sent.
Amazing.
Seriously.
Amazing. I love looking at them.
It's such a visual delight. If you don't know, the whateverquiltclub.com, they're all the 20 blocks sent in. I was saying to Jen, it started out about 35 people, 40 people sending their blocks, and then it trickled off, understandable. But you die-hard followers who've been doing this, it's been wonderful.
We can't wait to see your quilts.
Seriously, and we're going to have all the quilts up, couple pictures each. We're going to have pages and pages of finished quilts. I'm making a Shutterfly book.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm making a Shutterfly book with all the pictures in it. It's going to be super. I've really, really, really enjoyed this whole thing. So So you've learned to quilt.
I've learned to quilt. I'm a blocker right now, but I'm going to be a quilter by the end of summer.
You're going to be a quilter. So again, it's up to Jen. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure to finish her quilt top.
Yep.
And then we'll be back. I'll show you. I'll probably just do a video on how to create the backing.
Okay.
Oh, yep. We need about, again,
I got my
maybe 6 yards of backing. I don't know, maybe less. The quilt's going to end up, I don't know what size. It probably is a little bit less, but get 6 yards of backing. Okay. I've been somebody talking, Jed over in England or the UK has been saying about using a sheet for the backing, good quality sheeting. If you can't, afford really fabulous fabric, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Nice sheets can work beautifully. Only if you're machine quilting. You can't really hand quilt. It's very difficult to hand quilt through a sheet because of the thread count. But most of you are machine quilting. But that's an idea to save some money because it's an investment now. Yeah. We're not using a border. I had messed up. I didn't want to do that. This is Jen's backing for her blue.
Which, you know, most of my blocks have blue. All my blocks have blue.
It's a blue and yellow quilt, basically.
Yeah.
Blue, white, and yellow quilt. My quilt is more really scrappy. It has it has about, let me see how many colorways. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 different colorways. And then because my favorite color is red, I'm putting the red on the back to really make it pop.
Yeah.
So, oh, and one thing, I ran out of fabric. I ran out of my white tone-on-tone I've been using for all my blocks. And
I ran out of white too for my sachet.
Right, so you can go back and get some white.
Yeah.
There's different colors of white, so perhaps take that.
I was going to go back where I got it and see if I can get it off the same.
That's exactly,
like Walmart
yeah.
Waverly white.
Walmart Waverly. I got this at Joann's, which is this little tone-on-tone, it was more of like a leaf. They didn't have it. I'm like, oh no. So I got an actual, I got one with little circles, little dots.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
It just reads white, but it's the same, it almost looks like the same manufacturer.
Nice.
So, because it'll be glaring. So it can be glaring, like if you get the wrong white.
Yeah.
You'll see that. So again, sorry about that, I don't know quantities of fabric. But that's that. So I'm going to say goodbye, and then we're just going to go into what we need to, the next video is what we need to, because my kids are out there. All right, what we are going to need to do the sashing in the cornerstones.
Yay!
So thanks everybody. See you later. Bye.